Assalamu alaikum. I am going to discuss a simplified guide to blood strain pattern analysis and DNA recovery and analysis from skeletal material in modern forensic context. First of all, there is a simplified guide to blood stain pattern. Blood pattern analysis is the interpretation of blood stain at a crime scene in order to recreate the action that caused the bloodshed. These are performed in order to check the events which may occur during the bloodshed event. For example, the bloodshed occur in crime scene events such as analysts examine the size, shape, distribution, and location of blood stain for opinion about what did or did not happen. In simple words, these blood stain patterns are collected for the legal purposes which may held after the crime scene events which occur in any events. BPI uses the principally of biology, physics, and mathematics to assist the investigations in answer the questions such as where did the blood come from, what caused the wounds, from what direction was the victim wounded, how were the victim's positions, what movement were made after the bloodshed, how many potential perpetrators were present, does a blood stain event support or refute witness statements. These all questions and we need the answer of this question. In order to get the answer of this question, blood stain analysis are done. Introduction. Because blood behave according to certain scientific principle, trained blood stain pattern analysts can examine the blood evidence left behind and draw conclusion as how blood may be shed from what may appear to be a random distribution of blood behave according to certain scientific blood stain at a crime scene. Analysts can categorize the stains by gathering information from spatter patterns, transfer voids, and mark data assist in recreating the sequence of events that occur after the bloodshed, and we will discuss this event one by one. There is a principle of blood stain pattern analysis. To understand how analysts interpret blood stain, one must first understand the basic properties of blood. You need to have a good approach on the properties of blood, its nature, it may be a solid, liquid, or whatever. Blood contains both liquid, it may be plasma or serum, and solid, such as red blood cell, white blood cell, and platelets and proteins. Blood is in a liquid state when inside the body. Keep in mind, when inside the body, blood is in liquid state, but when it exits the body, it does so as a solid. But as anyone who has a cut or a scrap, it doesn't remain a liquid for a long time. It becomes solid after some time. Except for people with hemophilia, blood will begin to cloud within a few minutes, forming a dark, shiny gel-like substance that grows more solid as time progresses. So, we can say that when blood is in body, it is in liquid form, but when it exits the body, it may get a solid form. The presence of blood clots in blood stain can indicate that the attack was a prolonged or that the victim was bleeding for some time after the injury occurred. It actually helps us in an analysis of how this event occurred, how the blood shed, and after this we can also use this blood for the DNA analysis. Blood can leave the body in many different ways depending on the type of injury. It can flow, drip, spray, spread, gush, or just ooze from the wounds. So, there are types in which the blood shed out of the body. Blood exists in the body. Type of stains. They classify into three basic types: passive stains, transfer stain, or impact stain. Passive stains include the drops, flows, and pools, and typically result from gravity action on an injured body. Here you can see in this pic, this is a blood stain which we call a passive blood stain. It occurs as flows and pools and typically result from a gravity acting on an injured body. Next one is transfer stain. Result from object coming into contact with existing blood stain and leaving wipes, swipe or pattern, transfer behind such a body, shoe, print or a smear from a body being dragged. Transfer and pattern, they have a small amount of blood, such as we can say the things which come in contact with a person which have a blood in a part of body. It may be a clothes, a piece of cloth, his shoes, or anything which is around him or her. So the third type is impact stains, result from blood projecting through the air and are usually seen as spatter but may include the gushes, splashes and arterial spurs. What are blood spatters? Blood spatter is categorized as impact created when a force is applied to a liquid blood source or projection spatter, spray or spatter cast of an object. The characteristic of blood spatter depend on speed at which the blood leaves the body and the type of force applied to the blood source. Actually, it tells us about the how the actually bloodshed occur, how the blood leaves the body, which type of instrument uses to eject the blood out of the body. There may be gun shoot spatter. There are difference in bloodshed through gun and maybe other knife. Someone may use a knife to evade the blood from body. Include both forward spatter from the exit wound and back spatter from the entrance wound. Gun shooter spatter will vary depending upon the caliber of the gun. Typically, forward spatter is a fine mist and back is a larger and a few drops. Cast off spatters. Result when an object swung in an arc fling blood onto nearby surface. This occurs when an assailant swings the blood-stained object back before inflicting another blow. Analysts can tell the direction of impacting object by shape of spatter. Counting the arc can also show the minimum number of blow delivered. Expirated spatter is usually caused by blood from an internal injury mixing with air from the lungs, being expelled through the nose, mouth, or any injury to the airway or lungs. Expirated spatter tend to form a very fine mist due to pressure exerted by the lung moving air out of the body. Small air bubbles in the drop of body are typically found in this type of spatters. Some blood stains are latent, meaning they cannot be seen with the naked eye. Investigator can use chemical reagents such as luminol to find and photograph latent blood stains. When sprayed on a blood, luminol creates a bright blue luminescence glow by recreating with iron the blood hemoglobin. Here you can see in this pic, this is the luminance. In some cases, there may be a very small drops of a blood which cannot be seen by naked eye. So the investigator use the luminol to see them, and after luminol is sprayed on this part, we get a luminescence which show that there is a blood drops which can then examine for analysis purposes. Bloodshed events. So how the blood exits from the body, it may be a crime scene event or intentionally or unintentionally someone may beat or hit himself and which result in the bloodshed. A crime scene where bodily injury has occurred is likely to have some amount of blood stain evidence present. However, the amount will vary depending on the circumstances. The type of injury and the amount of force used will determine the volume and pattern of blood. Sharp force injuries. These injuries are caused by an object with a relatively small surface area, such as ice pick or a knife. There are small injuries. Less blood is deposited on the instrument, resulting in a smaller, more linear pattern of stains. As a knife is a small instrument to shed the blood, so this may result in a less blood deposit and have linear pattern of stains. Next is blunt force injuries. They may result from hitting or beating. When someone beat others, so it may result from bloodshed. Objects inflicting this type of injury are usually larger, such as a bat or hammer. If the object impacts liquid blood, the larger surface area will collect more blood, producing dope of varying size. Next is gun shoot. mist-like spatter caused by bullet entering an existing body. It results in a shed of a large amount of blood as they are to the gun shoot. Next one is interpreting the patterns. After getting the pattern of bloods, it now work on their analysis. When blood is impacted, droplets are dispersed through the air. When these droplets strike a surface, the shape of stain changes depending on the angle, velocity, distance, type of surface. Generally, the stain shape will vary from a circle to elliptical. Smaller satellite stain may also break away from initial drop by measuring the width and length of stain. This angle of impact can be calculated, helping the investigators determine the action that may have taken place at the scene. Actually, the blood can help us to know what was the reason that this blood is present here. It is called the interpreting of patterns. Void patterns. A void occurs when a person or object block the path of blood. They are important because void can show the investigators if objects are missing from the scene, when a person or persons were at the time of incident, and if the body was moved. An object that leaves a void in a bloodstain pattern will have a matching bloodstain on its surface, allowing analysts to replace it from the scene. Void patterns are most useful for establishing the position of victim and assistant within the scene. How bloodstain event is collected. How to collect the bloodstain after the evidence occurs. Sample can be collected by the BPA by cutting away stain surface or material, photographing the stain, drying and packing the object. The tool for collecting the bloodstain evidence include high quality cameras, sketching material, cutting instrument and evidence packing. These tools can be used to collect the bloodstain as it is a very deeply doing work and it requires a large attention. Documentation of bloodstain event. After collecting the bloodstain event, the most frequently used method for capturing the bloodstains is high resolution photography. As you can in this picture, the investigator is doing the photography for the analysis purposes. A scale or ruler is placed next to the bloodstain to provide an accurate measurement, and photos are taken from every angle. Video and sketches of the scene and the bloodstain is often used to provide the prescriptive and further documentation. This is commonly done if stain materials or objects are collected intact. No, after collecting the blood stain and making the pictures and photography for the record keeping, next step is sampling the blood stain for DNA profiling. Now we have to match the DNA of the victim to know that which happened that caused the blood to shed from the body of person. Analyst or investigator will typically pool a blood or swab small sample of dried blood in order to determine if it is a human blood and then develop a DNA profile. First of all, you have to know is this is a human blood or not, and then you have to develop a DNA test. This becomes critical when there are multiple victims. DNA profiling may also indicate whether the perpetrator was injured during the attack, as in this case of two DNA found at a scene with only one known victim. It is a difficult process and it requires a great attention. Next, who conduct the analysis? Why we need this analysis to occur? Bloodstain pattern analysis can be found at all levels of crime scene investigations, from law enforcement to laboratory staff. Analysts investigate and study pattern at the scene and often screen the blood in laboratory as well. It becomes common for bloodstain pattern to have a degree in math, physical science, chemistry or physics. They help the analysts to collaborate findings from the other scientific disciplines including the pathology, toxicology and DNA analyst. How and where the analysis is performed. Who need this analysis to occur? Bloodstain analysts use established scientific methods to examine the bloodstain evidence at a crime scene, including the information gathering, observation, documentation, analysis, evaluation, conclusion. All tests and experiments should be able reproduced by independent analysts to ensure accuracy and quality. It is performed in two phases. First is pattern analysis. Look at the physical characteristic of stain pattern, including size, shape, distribution, overall appearance, location, surface texture where the stains are found. Analysts interpret what pattern, type are present and what mechanism may have caused them. Reconstruction uses the analyst data to put the contextual explanation to the stain patterns, what type of crime has occurred, where is the person bleeding from, did the stain pattern come from the victim or someone else. So after this analysis, which kind of result we can expect from the blood stain analysis? Can we be able to find the person who did this? The result will generally take the form of a technical report that outlines the finding of analysts. Its result will generally include the opinion of analysts. Following information for such stain of pattern were formed: number of victims, when possible, the approximate number of perpetrators. Photograph and diagram may accompany the report to provide the additional detail about the scene. What are limitations of analysis? Limitation of analysis include fact that it cannot recreate the entire scenario. As you know that it cannot recreate the scenario. It only help us to know which has happened there, which caused the blood to shed. As there are unknown variables that analysts cannot account for using the scientific method. For example, the analyst cannot tell if a perpetrator was older or younger, if an attack was planned or spontaneous, and if drug or alcohol influenced the perpetrator unless their blood was left behind. We don't know the person who did this. We cannot tell their age, they are older or younger, because there is no chances to know it. And also we cannot have to know the attack was planned or spontaneous. We don't know which were running in the mind of attacker. Or rather, we even don't know the drugs or alcohol influenced the perpetrator or unless the blood was left behind. If the blood of the attacker was left behind, so we can find the answer of the last question. It recreates the action of specific blood sharing event with the reasonable certainty based on measurement and understanding of the scientifically understood behavior of blood, not supposition of interference. The result of blood stain pattern analysis are often used to support or confirm the finding of other forensic disciplines used in the case. DNA recovery analysis from skeletal material in modern forensic context. After collecting the R blood share event, now we have to perform the DNA analysis of the blood which we have collected from the crime scene event. The generation of DNA profile from skeletal remain in an important part of identification process in both mass disaster and undefined person cases. Since bones and teeth are often the only biological material remaining after exposure to environmental conditions, intense heat, certain traumatic events, and in case where significant amount of time has passed since purify large quantities of informative DNA from these hard tissue would be beneficial. Since sampling the hard tissue for genetic analysis is a destructive process, it is important to understand those environment and intrinsic factor. Introduction. The field of forensic science is constantly changing as new methods and techniques become available and validated for use in the methodological system. The field of forensic genetics, which apply the genetic science to issue the identification and criminal investigation, has experienced an especially rapid rate of advancement. Dissociation of DNA profile from bones and teeth is an important part of identification. In both mass recessor and unidentified remain cases. Therefore, the ability to purify large quantities of informative DNA from the hard tissue would be beneficial in numerous forensic and archaeological contexts. Temperature. The degradation of biological material occurs as a result of series of chemical reactions with an autolysis displaying a maximum chemical activity at 30 to 40 degree. All chemical reactions are heavily influenced by temperature, with a two-fold to threefold increase in the reaction rate for every 10 seconds in increase in temperature. Additionally, temperature influences the microbial activity associated with biological decomposition. Temperature affects the biological activities with a warmer temperature promoting the microbial growth, and cooler will favor the DNA preservation. In order to increase the DNA yield from hard tissue, because it makes bone brittle, are better able to release the DNA during the professional purification process.